Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and today's going to be the last unboxing of 2021. This year flew by. I'd like to thank all of you that have been stopping by the videos, checking out the content. Leave me some love in the comments. But, as you can assume, it's from Tolman again. That's not good. Okay, now that we've spilled silicone all over the ground here, this is the guitar. And what I was worried about was that this was going to be a very paper-thin neck on it. It's thin, but it's not what I was expecting as far as super thin. And that is a good thing. I hate super thin necks. So, without further ado, let's get it on the bench. Let's get all this silica kind of cleaned up and let's get started. 6 pounds, 15 ounces. There you go. There's your kilograms. Now this is the TL-62CC, I believe the model number is. The difference between this and the predecessor was this guy has a roasted maple neck, but we're going to go there in a second. Let's focus on the body. Lovely surf grade finish, looks very accurate to the fender color itself. It has the 2 pickups with no funny business, no coil switching, no 4-way, nothing like that. Toe knobs feel pretty decent. Not bad. We don't have brass saddles. We have steel saddles, but what I do like about these, they are slotted for each string, which is really, really a nice thing. Not all fenders even come with that. There's a lot of plastic on this guy, more so than normal. It might make the guitar look like it's in bad shape. No, it's actually perfectly fine. It's just the plastic that was put onto it's kind of haggard, kind of all over the place. Outside of that, pretty straightforward. No belly cut. Yeah, straight up Telecaster, you guys. And since this is a solid colored guitar, we don't have to worry about binding inconsistencies or issues like that. And having a once over at the actual instrument, the neck pocket looks fantastic. No issues, no scratches. This doesn't look like something that was taken out and kind of played on a little bit. This guy looks absolutely mint. So let's move on towards the neck. Now the neck is a big upgrade, as I stated before, from the original TL-62 line. Let's see how the fret ends feel. A little bit rough, if I'm being totally honest with you. Nothing that's gonna really bother you when you play, but for a $140 guitar, you know, it's par for the course. Check the level. A little high. That one's definitely high. Okay, so this fret and I believe this one were a little bit high, but outside of that, this is a very, very, very nice job to it. Now, normally on the back of the headstock, it will say where this is made. This just says QC5 with the 2 universal symbols that go onto a lot of guitars, meaning I don't know where this is made. I'm gonna guess that this one is made in China. However, I'm gonna have to reach out and confirm that. These are house brand tuners on it, so unlike some of the higher end models that come with Goto or Wilkinson, this one is just straight up house brand. Same thing when we were looking at the bridge and those saddles. Shouldn't be the end of the world as long as they function decently. Nothing really to write home about there. Alright, so this is a pretty lightweight guitar. Nothing to complain about as far as the quality control issues of it. Like I said, the paint looks good. You know, this is a big old thick poly finish on it, but not the end of the world. Love the fact that it's under 7 pounds, if even barely by an ounce. Neck feels pretty decent on it. The setup is not bad. I'm going to be able to demo this pretty much straight away, and I do appreciate that. It's not perfect, but it's good enough where I'm not going to have to waste more of my precious time dialing this in just in order to get a tone demo done. And I have to credit to Harley Benton, whether this is one of the Chinese-made ones or not. The fact that I don't have to put much time in to get started and get playing, I do appreciate that. So without further ado, let's plug it into the Mesa Boogie. Let's hear how it sounds. Alright guys, I just finished up playing this guitar, and if you follow this channel, you know I love Telecasters. For many years, a Telecaster was my #1 instrument, so I'm kind of picky on these things. Now, I'm going to grade this for kind of two different sorts of people here, because I can see two separate applications where this would really excel. First of all, if you're somebody that doesn't have a Telecaster and doesn't want to spend a ton of money to get into one, because it's worth having a Telecaster around, especially if you're recording, they're very useful instruments. This is great for that at a very low cost. I found this to be an excellent example compared to the Squiers that I've had in a few senses. First of all, the feel of this, I did mention that the fret ends aren't absolutely perfect on this. They're not, but neither are the ones on the Squiers that were twice as much, sometimes almost 3 times as much money. One thing playability wise, these frets definitely need a polish. They're a lot more rough than a lot of the guitars that I've been playing recently, but then again, I'm spoiled. I play, higher end instruments for the most part, but it's really obvious that these definitely could go with a little bit of polishing. With the pickups, these guys they're definitely going to do the job. They're really, really, really twangy on the bridge pickup. Might even want to lower this a little bit to kind of tame that, or use an EQ pedal or something to that nature. The only pickup I didn't really care for was the neck pickup. It just seemed a little bit dull. I did try to roll back and roll on the volume when I had the Mesa Boogie on the vintage side of the gain channel. That was at around 9 o'clock, so it really wasn't a lot of gain coming from the amp, but it just sounds like it because Telecasters in general do well with gain. I thought this did a pretty decent job, the volume knob, of rolling off a little bit, so you can kind of use it for that. It's not something that's completely useless, and a lot of times guitars in this kind of price range, it won't be useful to be able to taper off the tone or the volume pots. And the second person that I think this guitar would be absolutely perfect for is for a complete beginner. This guitar stays in tune really well. This has the house brand Harley Benton tuners, as mentioned when we were doing our kind of breakdown of the specs of the instrument, but that being said, this stays in tune better than that $450 Cabronita thin line that we had. Stays in tune better than the classic vibe that I had. I mean, I don't want to start any flame wars here, and I'm not saying one is definitively better as a whole, but as far as stability goes outside of the box, this thing was rock solid in that aspect. I think I would give the nod to the pickups in the Squiers, but as far as everything else, the playability, the reliability of it, and most importantly, the feel of the instrument, I think this is genuinely better and substantially less money. And I guess my final verdict on this guitar and why I think it is a worthwhile purchase is it does the basics out of the box extremely well. You want a guitar that feels good, a guitar that stays in tune really well, that's very lightweight, that's going to encourage you to play it. Now, if you get the frets polished, you're going to enjoy the playing experience even more. But that being said, the other reason I like this is you can grow with this guitar. So as you become a better player and you might want to upgrade it, the bass line is there. Pickups, not hard to swap on a guitar like this, even a pre-wired control plate if you wanted to go that route. Nothing that hard to do. It's a lot of fun to be upgrading these guitars, and when you have a solid bass line, as I've said, to work with, then not really much to worry about. You have something that you can use for the long haul, and I'd have full confidence in a Telecaster style guitar like this to be gigging and having all sorts of fun with. However, that's all I got for you guys today. This was so straightforward. This was so easy. There was no hidden tricks, no kind of push-pulls, no nothing, just Telecaster with a 3-way, and I know these things like the back of my hands, and this is a darn good example of how you can get one for not a lot of money. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. Let me know what you think would be a comparable kind of guitar in this price range. I don't have one here, but maybe we'll find something that we can shoot it out with one of these days. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for another guitar-related video. Take it easy, you guys.